Everyone is bringing all this hype around the young European star, and I think most of them are pretty valid. However, there's still some glaring holes that we have to talk about. Plus, we've seen so many of these types of players come through the NBA, lanky tall players who are considered unicorns. How different is Wembanyama from Chet Holmgren or Kristof Porziņģis? In this video, we're going to dive into the #1 draft pick in the 2023 season and why Wembanyama isn't a surefire superstar like many analysts are saying. Before we begin, let us know what you think about Victor Wembanyama being picked to the Spurs and how good do you think his career will pan out. Now let's get started. Yes, the hype is there. Yes, the tangibles we can all see. So let's do a brief recap of both the skill sets and physical attributes of Wembanyama. First, he's measured at 7 foot 5 inches with shoes on and has a massive wingspan of 8 foot. His size comes in at essentially the top 1% of #1 picks in the NBA. The only player who was picked at the #1 spot that had a higher height was Yao Ming, and it was just by an inch. The biggest difference is then their frame. Victor Wembanyama comes in at 210 pounds compared to Yao Ming, who is reported to weigh 310, over 100 pounds more than Wembanyama, which shows you just how lanky the young star is, and we'll come back to that in just a little bit. Moving on to his skill set. Victor has played with grown men throughout his late teenage years. Yes, the player is just 19 years of age, and he's played in leagues that include former NBA players. The Met 92s are a French team that play in the highest tier of French basketball, also known as the LNB Pro A. During his first year here, he played a total of 44 games and averaged 21.6 points, 3 blocks, and 2.4 assists. During these games and watching the replays, it's clear that he's nimble, incredibly nimble for his size. Watch how he takes a shorter defender on the ball, fakes the drive attempt, and then goes into a step back 3. His follow-up on the shot was even more impressive, going in for the dunk after knowing the attempt was a bit short. With his back to the basket, Wembanyama even is able to turn away from the defender and lay it in. Well, it's a layup for him. The soft touch here though is what is incredible for someone his size, and this comes back to his dexterity at his height and his age. It's quite an athletic thing to do for someone over 7 foot. Finally, here's where many experts think he'll be instantly elite, on the defensive end, protecting the rim. Here we see Victor recover from an initial drive attempt, but then he gets ready and doesn't jump on the hesitation move, and then he finally gets it, spiking the ball into the stands. If nothing else changes about Victor's game, he's still going to be a valuable member of a team for being a great defender. So, how can this French star fail? The first piece is his height when combined with his weight. Yes, he's been playing great players in the LNB Pro A League, but those centers and power forwards are really not the same as the ones here in the NBA. Imagine someone like Nikola Jokic backing down Wembanyama. Nikola has over 80 pounds on the younger athlete and will be an easy target for larger players down low in general. I can imagine Wembanyama's first year in the league being hard, as he's going to be challenged by simply bigger men who can bump and push him around. Now, whether Victor can grow and adjust to this tactic, we'll have to see. But this is a part where we can see him fail in the league. We know that Victor isn't someone that loves to back people down himself. Physically, he just doesn't have the size yet. So many of the points he had was running off of pick and rolls, fast breaks, and getting shots up closer to the rim. When looking into his overall 3-point field goal, it's actually quite poor at 27.2%. And this wasn't just some one-off situation either. Throughout his time with the Mets 92, he tried to shoot 4.5 threes and only made 1.2 per game. If this isn't a weapon that Wembanyama continues to develop, everyone will know, and they'll give him space when he's on the 3-point line. This will allow defenders an easier time to corral him into spots where they can do a better job defending him. Finally, his lankiness is something that we have to talk about. We just had a situation with Chet Holmgren where he was the #2 pick in the draft and had similar tangibles. Chet came into the league at 7 foot 1 inches and weighed just 194 pounds. 3 months after being drafted, he would miss the entire 2022-2023 season with a Lisfranc injury on his foot. Now, I would never want to see an injury happen to a young star, but it's hard not seeing how something similar can happen with Wembanyama as well. Victor's lankiness reminds me of Chet, and their skill set can be quite similar with a strong defending and rebounding ability. However, there's a lot of things that need to continue to go right for the French star before he can live up to the hype surrounding his name and this draft. I hope to be wrong about his weight and size. I hope that he gets bigger, develops his frame more, and becomes a dominant player in the NBA following other bigs like Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic. For now, I can't help but think that there's going to be a lot of work, and I'm sure the number 1 pick gives you enough incentive to start working right away. So, what did I miss? Is there anything else you want to see out of Victor to believe that he will live up to the hype? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thank you for your support, and we appreciate everyone that gets on here. Like and subscribe for more of these videos, and we'll see you next time on Sport Trending.